What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Club 33 podcast. And I believe this is episode 19. I hope I got that one correct, or it could be number 20 already. I have no clue. We'll find out in post. But today we actually have a bit of a schedule, or we actually wrote down some topics we're going to discuss, not just go over the patch notes. So I'm just going to go through them real quick, and then we'll obviously go through them in order. But number one is going to be have competitive clubs kind of left DSA, or are they just dormant? Like, has the whole competitive scene in DSA, in terms of like the high requirement for club stuff, kind of died down a little bit? That's gonna be our first topic. Number two is gonna be how have our spending habits changed, and will we go back to the Olay era of spending? Number three is thoughts after our first full season of Showdown, and then we'll go after the patch notes out there. And I think Juice, we're talking about my additions today that in my account. We can go to number two on that one. We'll just add it in there. Yeah, that'll be the best spot for it. But let's start off with have super competitive clubs left DSA, or are they just dormant? So like my idea behind this is because I was just like snooping around looking for clubs, and I noticed there's a lot of like big summer score peeps with thick rosters and like 450, 500, 350, whatever. And they're like, I just want a club that doesn't require me to do like club dungeon or PvP. I just want to play the game and do heroics. And I was like, how has that like affected like the super competitive clubs in general? Because like for instance, my club, we promote ourselves as like a free to play competitive club, but like honestly there's been days where we miss the 12,850 for max out in club coins, and we're not like telling everyone, okay, we gotta get the raid done in 2 hours or something like that. It's just we've really gone away from that because life in general just kind of changed stuff and going back. But I don't know, what are you guys' thoughts on this? And I guess I'll shoot it on over to Juice first for this one.
There's a lot. I mean, so it was interesting to see like at first the whole like Tomorrowland and Frontierland kind of dissolve and stuff like that, just because of whether it was leadership from what I've heard, or even like it was just amazing to see like but a lot of it was due to Club Conquest, where it was the same standoffs every single week, whether it was FL versus Olympus versus Wayfinders, and then just alliances and things like that. But when I thought about it, when the top whales have everything and they want to be the best at everything, when they're continuously losing or not competing or feel like they're not winning CC every week, that's what happened. That's what happened to some other clubs too. I mean, the ones that I was in before, where people wanted to win and they wanted to get second and first place to get those extra rewards and things like that. So I'm not saying that there's more things that led to, I think, to the those clubs kind of dissolving and merging and things like that. But like as far as that goes, that was surprising to see. And then we started seeing a lot of members join some of those higher end clubs, even though they didn't have those stacked rosters and things like that. So Dragon said a juicy roster, and you said 350,000. I just hit 350,000 this past week, and by all means, I do not have a stacked or juicy roster by all means. But yeah, we started seeing. I mean, a lot of the Twitch community, some of the other Twitch streamers and Twitch community kind of come together and join some of those higher end clubs, whether it was personality based or if it was them being really strategic when it came to leading Club Conquest or managing and getting stuff called out in Discord about raids and raid fights, or getting requests in or PvP attempts in and things like that. So yeah, I mean, we saw things like that. And honestly, I think another thing too is like, I think based on this whole year, we've had a lot of, I guess, kind of cool events, whether it's Hercules and other type of events come in. I just really think the game has lost. I mean, Summoner Showdown obviously helped that, but I feel like the game has lost a lot of steam compared to last year and at the height of the game where it first came out and we had the first raid and there were all these characters being released and legendaries and keeping up with everything. I just feel like the game has lost steam throughout this year so far, and it could pick back up definitely. But it even shows on kind of the whole Twitch scene too. So by all means, I haven't streamed DSA in quite some time, but just looking around kind of other Twitch streamers and things like that, like it's not a game people I feel like are watching hardcore anymore and things like that. And you can look at the top dogs who stream, whether it's Cozy or Dan and things like that, and it's I don't know. I feel like people, they're maybe spending less time in the game, or they're choosing to spend their time in other games or things like that, or just maybe it's not holding their interest as much anymore. And we know a lot of people that have quit the game and tried selling accounts and getting off what they're currently working on just because they didn't like what either Glue was doing, or they just couldn't keep up with the characters and things like that. But I feel like I'm rambling on. Hopefully, I answered the question a little bit, but there's a lot in there. It's kind of a very broad question. I know Sky definitely has his thoughts, and I know you do too, Dragon. So hopefully, I hit on it a little bit. But take over.
Yeah, a lot of good points, Juice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's a variety of things going on. I think one of the bigger things is that there's kind of no reason to be in a top club right now. You aren't
Mm-hmm.
really getting anything. Like, you might get a little bit more raid rewards if by doing the raid quickly, but like that's not much. And you might win conquest a lot, but again, it's not really changing much in the progression. And while we're waiting for G9 to come out, there's not really a big push to do any of these club activities to progress your account, because the only way you really progress your account apart from working on a variety of side projects is to get the like G8 gear, and you just get the G8
Mm-hmm.
gear slowly, mostly through pass holder coins, right? So I think that there's kind of just nothing pushing people to be competitive right now. Um, and we've seen, I think, that slowly become more and more true. And we saw that kind of hit apex last year before the last raid came out, and then we saw a huge club switch around. I think every club felt that when the last raid came out, and I think people are definitely a bit less into the game and more into life since I
Mhm.
think just everyone's busier than they've been in the past year and a half right now. Um, so I think yeah, like quarantine kind of slowly easing up and just there being nothing to push competitiveness is what's changing people's kind of tone on the game. There's nothing really making you want, like, I don't really have anything that makes me want to spend a lot right now. Like, I look at it and I'm like, I guess I could pay $50 to get a single piece on one of my characters for G9, but I don't really care. I'll just wait and get it later. And like, I go in PvP and I lose to people because I don't have a speed piece on my bell, right? And I don't really care. There's no reason for me to get that PvP win. So I think that's the big thing. There's just not a big reason to push yourself right now. It's a very standstill time of the game, and yeah, Showdown came out, but Showdown, especially as we'll talk about later with the new requirements they announced for season 2, really doesn't push you to invest too hard in much. That's kind of the whole point of it, is that you don't have to invest and you get to use these fun characters. So yeah, it seems natural, it seems logical, and I mean, there's always like stupid drama in the top clubs that I personally have never luckily been involved with. And I think people are just kind of over that. It's like, what's it for? Why do you need to be in the top club? Being a top 51, you'll do heroics, easy peasy, no sweat.
Yeah, and
Uh,
that's a good point because like I think a lot of like looking back, right, before the raid nerf, it especially then didn't matter if you're in a top club because so many clubs at that point were doing heroic. Post nerf, there was a slowdown for sure. Like I think we had 4 clubs doing heroics before the nerf, and or maybe even 5. Then post nerf, we had to drop a club, and then we also had and consolidate basically, and I think we went down to maybe 2 clubs doing heroics, and now we're up to 3, almost at 4. And that's just because Default Dan obviously had his one video that really helped a lot of people, and just a bunch of theory crafters and discords and whatnot. But it just took time for the community to figure out the raid, and so then again, being in the tippy top clubs became relevant because like you said, Sky, like there's about probably 50 or so clubs doing heroics, if not probably more. And like for Showdown, for instance, I think if the club rewards, because I'm pretty sure those club rewards, right? I think it was just energy, like, and it wasn't even that much energy needed.
um,
Some club coins, if I remember correctly.
Maybe in the overall leaderboard,
Mm-hmm.
the the,
The
through
weekly
the whole
ones, though.
season,
Mm-hmm.
but the weekly, yeah, it's like a tiny bit you're getting from
Yeah,
that. But I can't even remember for sure if there was a club reward on the season.
but it's like it's so little and it's almost irrelevant. It's like, okay, maybe I'll get like 3 pieces for this character, and it's just like 3 droplets or something. Nothing crazy, or maybe a character token or something like that. And that's not gonna sway people to go to the tippy top. And exactly what you said. It's like unless like Club Expeditions got us like a full piece for Gear 9 if you complete it on like the top level, or maybe several pieces, which is not going to happen. I doubt that would happen like in Club Expeditions when it comes out. Then I think that's when you would need to be in a probably more top tier club, because that would make more sense. But since right now there's
the
nothing.
raid could do it too. The new raid.
Sorry, that's true. That the raid 2 could do it in addition, which would actually make more sense when. But the new raid.
They both easily could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think and I talked about this in a video, but I'm pretty sure that the next raid is gonna have a tier 7, which would become the new heroics. So we'll have 7 tiers of the raid instead of 6, just because there's another gear tier, and it would force people to get 7 sevens basically. So that's my guess for it. We're gonna have the same requirements as a previous raid, but just add one and bump everything up basically is what my guess is for that one. But yeah, I think for now we've pretty much come to consensus that it's going to be pretty stagnant. And the club conquest part, I can see that being more serious once we get to like 1v1, because someone in my club was like poking at Meathead today and asking about stuff, and he said they're working on the raid, they're working on club conquest 1v1 and club expeditions, so that's like their main focus. So I'm guessing, and I was talking about this. I was like, my guess, raid gonna come out September, club conquest 1v1 coming out in like Q4, and then club expedition coming out Q1. So I think in the near future, just not right now, clubs are gonna become probably more relevant in that time frame. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. That's any more. I mean, do you guys have any more thoughts on that?
Like, to be honest, I've been so out of touch. Like, I couldn't even tell you like the top 5 clubs right now. Like, I don't even know the list. I don't even know what it is at the moment. Like, just because I don't really care.
Yeah,
but it's like, I don't know.
I can tell you it's not what it was a year ago. It's not what it was a year ago. Yeah. The names have kind of changed and stuff, but
yeah,
and the players have obviously different too.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. But I guess moving on to the next topic. So I know before we used to be pretty active, like looking at those like Olay offers, obviously that are no longer existent, and the more new players that come around and hear Olay offers are probably like more and more confused about that. And I think if you talk about Olay offers, it shows your age in the game as well, because of how long ago they've been just like not for us anymore.
Long time.
But I guess just wondering like, how's your spending habits changed as the game has gone on? Like, I guess like when was your peak and when was your low point, or no longer spending, or if you're still spending, how much, or not how much, but like comparatively, what's it like?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I spent some money on gems a month ago, 2 months ago now, and I've did some Tapjoy offers, and my goal is to only do VIP for the rest of the year, if not longer. I'm sitting on a big pile of gems from mostly games, and I as long as I can get my extra refreshes in Grand Campaign, and my refreshes in the regular nodes, and every once in a while, and maybe an event refresh, that's good with me. So for me, it's like the longer the game goes on, the less a single gear piece matters, the less a single 30 shards for a character matters, and so on. So like, I just feel like there's been another game has been out for longer, and there aren't really like insanely good offers like there has been in the past where you can get it for really, really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I just really am trying to consciously make decisions to lower my spending. Like, I worked on all my tower characters, for instance, just so I could spend less on those refreshes every week. So it's just really trying to minimize it, because I'd like to keep playing the game, but I'd like to, hopefully only spend $10 a month on it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Juice?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, thinking about spending for this year, it was not this pass, but it was the last Herc pass where I had to get him. I just had to get him to where he needed to be to actually play the game and compete with other players. So I feel like that's where I put the most in. I put a little bit into finalizing that first speed piece on Ursula. But aside from that, it's been mostly just VIP every month. No gem bundles, no tap joys, no pass holders, nothing like that. Especially these past 2 months or even three, where it's just been horde mode. Like I mentioned in the last show, like I don't know, because I haven't been playing the game that much lately, and I haven't been streaming this game that much lately. It's just been kind of doing dailies and trying to hit raid attempts and participating on Sunday for CC and stuff like that. It's been I don't know. We've talked about the character evaluations before on the characters they've released, and it's like why? Like why? Like I don't know. Like it's not worth spending if I'm not going to use them, regardless for the game mode. I mean, obviously Summoner Showdown changed the way the things are, but like there's been so many characters they've released lately where it's just like I'm not going to spend. Or on the other hand, if it's a character like Wreck-It Ralph or those characters, like I have plenty of time to get them ready before the next pass, so it's not worth
Yeah.
even trying to wail out and try to get that done. So you have plenty of time and things like that. And yeah, it's been pretty much a VIP only, just because of convenience mostly for me, where I don't want to do the towers every day. I just wanted to go to summoner challenges and hit the VIP auto win all and just get all those rewards. And we're busy now. It's yeah,
Yeah.
we used to be able to sit down and play the game for longer periods of time, but now it's like I can blow through all my dailies in like 15 minutes, maybe 10 15 minutes. I can go super fast. I know what nodes I do every day and what node I do to request my item for the club. Like I can hit it all super fast. So that's coming from someone who used to stream this game like 4 or 5 hours a day. So
No, like I'm pretty much like the same with you guys. I think my last push to do stuff was July 4th. I did like a mixture of there was Dragonscapes and that one got like 30,000 gems or something like that. Something crazy like that. It was like a higher one. And then there was this like Three Kingdoms one that I tried to do. I got like some parts of it done, but it was like a pain in the freaking neck. So I was like, ah, forget this. And then I did like some paid offers, and that made about the other half, and then had me sitting at like 80k gems for a while. But that was like my stock hold that I said in a previous podcast is gonna hold me out for like a year. Don't know
What
about
are you at
that
now?
anymore. I'm at 61 because
How?
oh no, I'm at 63. Okay, now at 63. So I was at
'Cause I was at
71.
44K and now I'm at 41K and I haven't been even doing Sorcerer's Tournament.
I I I may have gotten lucky on Frank. So someone in my club pulled a 230 on the packs for Frank, and I was like, "Hey, I'm like I have a good amount of gems." And then like Labor Day's coming up, and I know like during holidays that's like when Tatcha does double gem stuff. So I was like, there'll probably be good ones then. So I was like, let me give it a shot. I was like, oh, my max is 10. So I think on my 7th one, I hit 230. So I was like at 291 out of 330. And then I did
Lucky
it.
idiot.
I got so freaking lucky. And I was like, let me just make sure. So I did another one. I was like, okay, I got 10 more. So I hit the 230, and so if you guys don't know what happens when you do those packs, when it's blue, it just means like over 8 or something like that. I think that's what the blue means. But when it's orange, that's like 25 and above. So I was like, this could be like 25, this could be 50, this could be 80, or it could be 330. And I was like, let's do it. And then opened it 230, which is, I'll take that any day, because that
The odds are like what, 0% on that, right?
0.14. I checked after and I was like, hell yes. 0.14.
That's about a 1 in 1,000?
Oh, some freaking ridiculous amount like that. No, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's about 1 in 750.
Jeez.
So you opened that because you're like, maybe I'll get a 100 in 750, and did. I'm annoyed.
I've opened a couple of those for other characters before in the same situation. There's a holiday coming out. They're trying good offers for there. I can do it. That usually comes true, but I've never hit anything more than maybe a 10 or a 12,
Yeah.
to hit like a 25 or something like that. You're like, whoa. I think the best I've done on like an ultimate chest is hitting an 80, and I hit it on Pocahontas, which was freaking awesome because at that time I was going for her. So I was like, hey, this is like just expedite the process. But usually, you hit your 8 for like freaking Jack or some shit like that. Something irrelevant, but yeah, that's kind of where it went. But I am like also on the same spot with Sky. I'm gonna try and only do VIP. That's pretty much it.
I'll believe it when I
And
see it.
free no, I was gonna say free Olay offers. That doesn't exist. Free tap tray offers only. Mean the ones where you play the game and get your gems and stuff. So only gonna do those from now on. So probably at this point, I've exhausted I think a lot of the better offers. So gonna be a lot of solitaires. I think is probably what I'm left with.
Solitaire.
Yeah.
Gonna have to do that. It's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be a struggle, but we gotta replenish it.
Another thing too is like, and Sky brought it up. He's like, I could spend $50 for a single piece, like for G9. But like, I think about that. I'm like, do I really want to do that? Like, obviously you have the time to get it, but and another thing, it's like, that's $50 for one piece.
Yeah,
like
one
it's
piece.
just like I just can't.
It's crazy.
I can't justify it, dude. I just can't do it.
Yeah, the pricing and just how hard it is to get these pieces before the raid is kind of unprecedented, I feel like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Ascension is just such a bummer. The drop rates are low. Unless if you're not in Ascension 2 yet, your attempts are limited. The refreshes are more expensive than regular energy. Like the list goes on and on for all the reasons Ascension kind of sucks and makes me not want to spend to expedite the process because it expedites such a slow process.
Mm-hmm.
I hear it because like
another thing too is like, oh sorry, Jack, go for it.
Well, I was gonna say like for limited ones, if I go 1 for 6, I'm freaking happy.
Yeah, straight up.
If I get anything more than that, it's a freaking blessing from God. That's what I say.
Yeah.
The RNG. But go ahead, Juice. My bad.
I mean, I was just gonna say too, like obviously we know now, like I guess characters you should probably focus on for those G9 pieces, especially the ones with speed. But like, I mean, God forbid you spend and you equip a certain pieces, and it's like, it's they become unplayable, or if you made the wrong investment or something like that, like that's completely flushing your your money down the toilet. But like obviously we know, like whether it's the Ursula pieces or the Kingdom stuff, and we know kind of the meta teams that we've seen right now. But like if you want a theory craft, or if you want to try these teams out, like, and you have to put a lot of cash into it to even make it work. And that's how this game's always been as well.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's like I'm not gonna do any of that until we know if it's actually viable or not. But like that's just another thing too. If it wasn't so hard to get the pieces in the gear pieces, it would be different.
Yeah, and people would they would say like, I forgot, I think it was back like Rescue Rangers. People like, oh yeah, I spent like $800 or some $500 on chips so I could get freaking gadget or something like that. Or maybe it was the Mari or something like that. I was like, what the hell? That's like what? Like that's someone's like
for characters like that aren't even good. Like Chip and Dale, useless. Gadget only good in the raid.
I mean, I'm just trying to calculate the Twitch subs and donations to compensate for that. I'm like, there's no way.
There's no way. Yeah.
There's no way.
Straight up, there's
Unless you got like several 500 or whatever the max like donation sub donations you can give. If you get a couple of those in the stream, okay, now we're talking. But no.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. But yeah. That's spending in DSA is always gonna be a rough one. Because if you could, there's free to play players like, remember Kipper Snack? He was like the face in SHD. He's the face of like free to play. And
but SHD, it's kind of weird because free to play players can't even relate to him because he's
a beta player.
He's a beta player who has a stacked roster, unrealistic for a free to play player. So like, he does have good free to play tips, but he's not relatable for free to play players because
exactly
any character that was on beta, he has 7 stars, likely tier 7.
because you have all that time to like hoard on the gold and the gear from 2 years ago. I think that's when, or even 3 at this point. I have no clue.
Long time.
Yeah, you had
And there used
time.
to be much more giving with resources, from what I heard in beta.
I would assume so because they want to keep you guys playing the game for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but times have definitely changed since then. I think the best we got with generous resources was when a game was broken like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Like
Oh, that was a great time in the game.
that was
I had a great time playing that.
if you were free to play, like if you're not like new like today and you were part of that, you lucked out because there was those resources will get you a little farther. Just a little
Yeah.
farther.
Well, I know like I was hearing that like I was talking to Melee Waluigi in my
Mhm.
Discord, and he hasn't unlocked the T8 chests yet for pass holder, and he's hoarding them. He has
Mhm.
like 40K, and he hasn't
Oh,
even
the
bought a
pass
pass.
holders?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just from all the free ones they've given out lately. 40K. A
I
lot of that was from the compensation.
and that's smart. So
Yeah.
you're just saving it for the tier 8 to get better. Yeah.
Tier 8 pieces, yeah.
I decided on that today. I was like, you know what? I could open like 3 of these, but I have a feeling, and I should have known this yesterday before I spent like 11 of them to do it. And I haven't bought I haven't bought a pass holder since like maybe March.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know exactly. The last pass holder I bought was I think the second time Mickey came around. Just so I needed to get the tokens and stuff to get them for the other characters. I was like, that was the last time I got a pass holder. Ever since then, I was like, I want this BS. These pass holders, I hate them.
Yeah, another thing too regarding spending too is like for me, I feel like these events are coming around much more quickly than I'm used to now. Maybe just because time's flying by, but it's like Herc's back again. I'm like, shit, dude. Like, I could have waited. I could have waited. I mean, a little bit longer, and I could have got Herc for free, basically. But
Yeah.
that was a while ago when he came back. Obviously, I said
Mhm.
when I wailed out on him months and months ago. But like, that's the thing with like even like Ralph and stuff like that. Like, he'll be back, and based on the way time's moving, it's a lot of these events are coming back. So there's really
Yeah.
the first need to get him first pass is obviously a demand with a lot of players, but like for me, it's like they're just constantly cycling through. So
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
And with the new requirements for legendaries, if they're gonna follow suit with Ralph, it's just get it the second pass.
Yeah, like there's the
Your pass.
there's a
whatever.
free to play player in our club, like legit free to play, and she got Herc this time around 7 stars.
No,
Third round.
a bunch of the free to play community this round
Mhm.
is getting the Hercs.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a ton of that from free to play players right now, and it's like you want to spend $500 to get them like 5 months early. Like you're paying $100 a month for that legendary.
Yeah.
Think about it like that. Like that's nuts. Just wait. Just get it later.
And that, like I think I might be able to get Ralph, but I'm not gonna like go all out. Like if one's like maybe like at gear 6 and then get him to gear 7, like okay, maybe I'll get like a cloth or some crap like that, or maybe I'll just get some extra
them all
energy.
already. I'm ready.
I didn't go full throttle on them. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
waiting on
guarantee
their
get a 6. That's it.
I'm
Mhm.
waiting on the last few tokens because all the drops in side campaigns get double during double character
Yeah.
tokens. So even like the grand campaign one. So I need like 10 tokens on every character more or less, and then I'm
Mhm.
good to go.
And for those of you guys who don't know, like the double character tokens for Grand Campaign, back in the day, those existed for us. We'd wait for them. We'd wait for them. Be like, it's gonna come. It's gonna come this week. I swear. We'd always wait. We'd always wait till 2 o'clock. Sometimes they wouldn't tell us. If I remember that correctly, they'd just be like,
No, they never would, dude.
yeah,
It was the
waiting
worst.
for 2 o'clock was like the golden rule back then, because they would
Mhm.
never tell us crap. Like, oh yeah, by the way, it's double gear drop like for the next 2 days. Like,
Yeah,
I spent my
hated
energy
that.
this morning.
Yeah, like the one day you spend your energy in the morning would always be the time the double
Yeah.
drop started too.
And this was during lockdowns and that stuff. Like we we had nothing
We
better
didn't
to
have
do.
anything else to do.
Oh, but that's it's crazy. That was like a year ago. Crazy how time's flown by. We're already in September almost.
Yeah.
Vice moving from this, with the newest game mode finishing its first run through. Showdown was I mean, it was pretty fun. I will say, like, it got me engaged, kind of got me in a crunch, trying to get it completed. I'd always end up like cramming the last session on Tuesdays. From like for me, it was natural time at 7:30 to 10, but like that was the only time I got to do it, and like it was a grind. That's all I say. I'll know if it was a good round if I got to the gold. Like if I got to the gold like individual rewards.
Yeah, the 450K.
Yeah, if I hit the 450K, I did my job. That's all. That was my marker, my gauge. Um, but I'll let you guys say your thoughts on it because I know it was a pretty interesting first run.
You want to go first, Juice?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be shorter than you, Sky. Like I had fun with the new game mode. I felt hesitant trying to gear up I felt hesitant gearing up characters or that fit certain requirements and things like that just for that game mode. So I didn't want to go too much in my horde stash. But it was fun. It just wasn't super for me. I didn't think as strategically. I'm not that type of player. I'm not a huge theory crafter and things like that. So ultimately I looked around and used resources and saw what other people were playing and copied and stuff like that. I'm not afraid to admit it. Who cares? That's what a lot of other people did as well. But like I said, I respect the game mode. I think it's great for the game. I think it's cool, especially using characters we haven't used before. We talked about that on the last show as well. But it was just kind of like just kind of another thing for me. It was I know a lot of people think highly of it and had a lot more fun than I did with it, but I participated, I did what I had to do, and ultimately yeah, it was just kind of an average to kind of fun experience. But yeah, I'm probably a little bit negative on it compared to most, but that's just my honest opinion of it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come in here and be the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Summoner Showdown's the most fun I've had playing DSA. Maybe since the raid first came out. I really, really liked the game mode. Um, I'm a huge, huge, huge strategy gamist. Like I have spent God knows how many hundred like or thousands of hours more so, probably tens of thousands of hours playing like turn-based strategy games, both in board game and video game context. I honestly rarely play like shooters or RPGs or any of that stuff because I just like turn-based games so much. And I don't really focus too much on that normally in TSA because of the pay to win aspect. But the ability to have that somewhat, not completely, but somewhat even playing field was just a huge turn on for me, and I really, really liked it. I'm even more excited actually for this second season because of the reduced requirements, how that it will just be 3 stars G3 for all characters in every single um what are they called phases. So I think that'll be even more fun because I think some people like Juice was saying he's like I don't really know if I want to invest in characters just for this, but investing in a character 3 star to G3 I think we all can agree is doable and
Mhm.
worth it. Um, so yeah, I like my decisions mattering. I like being able to do complicated strategies to get slight advantages. And all that stuff is what I got to do in Showdown. So I had a ton of fun with it. And like I said, I didn't think they would make the change to the gear requirements, but they did, and I'm really really excited about that change because I think it'll get more people involved. And yeah, and I mean, the longer it goes on, the more people I think will come along on some of these strategies. Because like the like cycling characters, if you have let's say you have 12 usable characters in Showdown, cycling in those 2 characters into those 2 other teams and getting more attempts, like stuff like that. It really makes you think kind of a different way, and I just like that. And I am a little bummed on the second Showdown that there's a lot of repeat characters. I would have liked them to repeat as little as possible. Like we're getting Moana back. We're getting Daisy back. Some of these really characters that dominated it are coming back. So that was the one thing I was unhappy about with the season 2 announcement. But no, really cool. And I mean, unless you want to spend, I'm probably thousands of dollars on it, is what I assume these top people spent. You're not gonna hit the top of the leaderboard, but I know like the Gold Crunch, for instance, is really getting led up by Summoner Showdown, for instance, because like the milestones each week are gold, and the rewards for your placing are gold. And even if maybe you're playing it pretty casually, maybe it's kind of not your thing, and you're getting, whatever 50th and below, you're still getting a few 100,000 gold every week on top of what you're already getting, or a couple 100,000 gold, wherever it is. Even if you really don't try, and if you put in that little bit of effort, you can easily make those top 10s, those top 20s, I think. And really helped on that gold crunch that I know a lot of people play on. So I really enjoyed the game mode. I'm really excited for how their willingness to keep updating it, because I thought Glue would kind of pull a Glue and just being like, nah, this is what it is. But they really did listen to feedback. So yeah, loved the first season, excited for the second one. And I don't know, we'll just kind of see how it evolves as the game evolves.
Yeah, it was definitely a good shock, I think. Uh, Obviously, not everyone's gonna love everything, right? But I will say the biggest thing for me is definitely gonna be that gold grind. An extra million if you can get it in a week, or extra half a million if you can, or just even extra 200K or something like that is,
A couple weeks I got 2 million from 1 week of Showdown.
because
That's
you're a
nuts.
whale, Sky. That's why you got it.
Yeah, 0 gems spent on refreshes.
Yeah. No, I didn't spend any gems on refreshes. I made sure I was like every refresh for club coins and summoners tournament or whatever it's called. I would always spend whatever needs to in those exchanges to make sure that I got as many potions as possible. Just because, why not? If it's like the free way to get those potions, so I don't even know if there's like a natural refresh. Like I don't know how many a day, but like it's
450 a day
450 a day.
Grand Campaign, I believe.
Oh, okay. Oh, so if you spend Grand Campaign,
It's
you
the
get.
quests.
Okay,
It
okay.
has attached potions now.
I did not know that. I was not paying attention as usual. Um, but yeah, like it does punish you a little bit if you don't have like the right characters. But if it's like 3-3, it wasn't too bad. Like when it got to like 4-4-5, like 5-5 especially, that's kind of where I was like, okay, like this is like getting like a not like difficult, but like I'm like I'm running out of strange fiber or something like that. And then 6-6, forget it. I was like, no, I'm not wasting my droplets on freaking jangles right now. I was like, not this time. Um, but overall, like yeah, going 3-3, it's level 25 or level I think even 15. I can't remember, and that's it. That's all I gotta do. So it's pretty easy.
Level 15.
Level
Pretty
15.
good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like 6 total gear pieces if you don't have any stockpiles.
Yeah.
I guess technically 12 with gear 1, but you know what I mean? Like
I am running low
very,
though on
very
the
little.
on those tier 1 and the chips. I'm honestly kind of pretty low on them. Actually, I have no more heart chips because I've also been bringing up like Wreck-It Ralph characters. So those first couple plus going to all the brooms. The brooms I'm fine. The brooms never an issue. Never an issue. It's just those freaking chips that have definitely kind of pushed me back a little bit. But they're easy farms. They're 6 energy and there's usually a combo.
Yeah, you can double them up with other ones.
Yeah, you get like the tier 1 gear too, so it's not bad. It's really easy to do. It's a really nice little combo they have there.
Yeah, and especially because you're gonna get to use each character 3 times over each showdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So getting a character to gear 3 to use 3 times is just insane value. Like before I was like, oh, buying packs for Showdown kind of not that worth it. But now I'm like buying packs for Showdown for these premium characters, the Franks, the Lilies. If you can buy packs just enough to get them to 3-star, it might be worth it because you got to use them three, or I think Frank and the pay to win characters usually get to use 5 times, right? So that actually seems pretty worth it now. It's like, oh, maybe I'll spend like 1,000 gems and I'll get to use them 5 more times and I'll get actual character tokens. Sure, that seems reasonable. Like, what else am I going to spend get that much value out of 1,000 gems?
Yeah, and I'm in that position to do that. Pretty excited about that. To
Right?
use Frank.
Wh-
Actually, I'll get to use
Because
Frank and
each
Lily more or less. If you got all the milestones for Lily and stuff.
yeah. Well, if you're using all your characters evenly and not cycling teams fully, like if you're using 14 characters and you're refreshing all 14 characters evenly, even though there's not 3 full teams.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing that, each character with refreshes, is normally gonna give you about 1 extra attempt on Showdown.
Yeah.
So that's about, like having Frank unlocked at 3 stars G3 will give you about 5 more attempts throughout Showdown if you're cycling characters. And that's pretty good. Just as an added bonus on already getting some tokens for the character that even if you're gonna leave it at 3 star, eventually that character will probably be farmable and you'll have a little boost. So I think that's pretty worth it. I think that's good use of gems.
One of the rare times where we can actually say I used my gems correctly or in like efficiently
Yeah, on a character pack.
on a character pack. One of the rare times. My favorite, I think the favorite pack I ever got was a meathead one where you got it like for 10,000, like the 10 times grand chest. That was freaking awesome. That was the best one that I got. I only got crap from it. I think there's a lot of character tokens, but I'll take it. It was my first like 10x one, so I was like, yes. But yeah, I think that's. Do you guys have any more final thoughts on Showdown before we get into patch notes?
No, it's
No.
fun game mode. I like it. I like that they're making changes and they're hopefully going to continue to make little micro adjustments so the community enjoys it more. Because I think that's really a game mode for the community when you look at it overall.
Yeah, I can't like, and I. It's a great buffer before I think some of the more uh, PVE content comes out. Raids, Club Expedition, and Club Conquest 1v1. So I think it's a good little buffer to hold us over. It's just distracted
Yeah.
for a little bit. So
Well, it's some nice easy content for them to release, right? Like,
that too.
sure they had to like balance this, but like compared to a raid where they have to make a whole new million different things, and patch all these glitches, overall Summoner Showdown, they just have to balance it and then they're good to go. It's just PvP with limited usage and buffers and stuff.
Exactly. Totally agree with that. So I guess maybe the patch notes real quick. Do you want to go over it, Sky?
Yeah, sure. So content update for 824, which is weird because they posted today 825, but whatever. They're talking about Jungle Cruise leaderboards continuing with the Frank Wolff one coming out. The Lily one's finished. Frank's has a really, really cool kit. I'm actually pretty excited about him. We have had the 2 Adventure Jungle Cruise characters come out. And if we look at the list of characters released for Summoner Showdown 2, it seems likely that we're getting a 3rd character from Jungle Cruise after Frank and Lily. Or it could be a different character, but if I were to guess, I would say it's some type of other Jungle Cruise character. But technically I could be wrong, but we'll see. Frank, I really, really like his kit. He has his first special is called the Backside of Water, and I think it might be the best move in the entire game if you're with a full set of adventures, because it is an AoE that reduces 30% turn meter, or maybe it's 40% at higher level, and then plus 10% per adventure on your team. So it maxes out, I believe, at reducing every enemy's turn meter by 80% and having a 50% chance to give them slow. And Lily hands out tactics, so that slow can be guaranteed. So it's reducing the opponent's turn meter by 80% and giving them slow. You just win. You do need to run all adventures with that. Adventures are pretty bad, so that's the only problem with Frank as I see right now, because he also has a lead that's quite good for adventures. So yeah, I mean it's a piece that adventures got that seems good. He's not the fastest. I believe his speed maxes out a bit lower than what we see most. I want to say 131 at with that G8 piece equipped, which is a high bar for most people. So most likely you're going to be looking at, what is that, 123, I believe, is his what if you have him just at G8, nothing equipped, it'll be 123. So he's a little on the slower side, but that move is just so OP. So I'm interested to see if there is an adventure team out there that's actually viable. Now that we have a character that's really, really, really strong and has a lot of adventure synergy. Pass holder, next one's coming, has Cruella, and they're making golden, what is it, gold and platinum reward tracks are getting more gold and more pass holder coins, so that's good. I mean, people who spend money should be rewarded, right? So I'm all for them adding more rewards there. Corell's an ex-PvP character, which is cool. I like them putting these premium event characters inside the PvP seasons. Other than that, it's actually, this is pretty big. Actually, Onward's coming back, and we already saw Lion King come back. A lot of people were really unsure if they were going to come back, and it seems like we are getting them back in these kind of micro events, so to speak, where they're only lasting about 3 days, but that's better than nothing, and they're still really good events that you can get a lot of gold from and a lot of gear in Onward's situation, at least not so much. What would that be? Lion King. Other than that, it's all pretty straightforward. We're getting, Mary Poppins. We'll get like a Talisman, Coast Conflict, Hunchback, Triton coming back. But yeah, pretty straightforward, pretty low excitement patch notes, but that's not always the worst. And overall, I think it's a solid off week.
Yeah, I'm I'm looking forward to actually be able to use Frank outside. I think to be able to use him, and then I just kind of wish his kit wasn't specific to adventure. I kind of wish it was also a wilds lead, because the wilds could definitely benefited from that and probably been a slightly viable faction.
I was Wilds.
No, if
It'd be a Wilds meta.
It would.
I actually believe that.
Yeah, because you'd use the princesses plus like maybe Shere Khan and Elsa. I could totally see it.
Lily and Frank's kits marry really well, right?
Mhm.
They have a lot of built-in synergy. So if you're whale enough, if you're using Frank, you probably should be using Lily too. Is what my read is on it, but I could be wrong.
Did not think that one through, so yeah. I didn't take my chance at the 7th time I would get it on Lily as well. I didn't want to do that one. No, I was not convinced.
Taking your chances on Frank was already crazier than I would be. So
hit on the 7th time.
I mean, you got the 1 in 750. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say much at that point. It's like, I got it, so it's doable. And think about
Confirmation bias.
2 people in my club, me and another person, got it, and I haven't checked the club chat to see if someone else was like, "Hey, Dragon got it. This guy got it. I can get it too." I haven't checked it yet.
All right. You ready, Dragon?
What is it?
All right, I have 2 dice here, and I'm gonna roll. I'm saying, man, I really need to roll Snake Eyes. And then I do it, and I roll Snake Eyes. Say, no way, I rolled Snake Eyes. Hey, Dragon, you roll Snake Eyes, and you say, no way, I rolled Snake Eyes. Man, we roll Snake Eyes every time. Let's put $1,000 on us rolling Snake Eyes the next time, and it's still not likely for us to roll Snake Eyes.
You're inflating the values.
Even if we roll Snake Eyes a 3rd time, it was still dumb. and we make the money on the $1,000 bet, it was still a bad bet.
Looking at my club chat, someone said, "Now I want to try it, but I also don't. I've tried and failed 5 times." See, 2 people influenced them.
Oh my god.
Because I think the problem is we didn't show them the 6 other pictures of screenshots that I did not take of my other drops.
Well, no. What the problem is both of you guys got insanely lucky.
That legit should not happen for 2 people in the same club, I think.
No, it should happen every once in a while, but it
Yeah.
shouldn't be used as a testament to anything.
But it is
Other
a
than-
testament. Like, it's not a scam.
Oh
It is a
my
scam. It was pretty. I'm content. Like, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again. I'm just like, no. My juice is muted.
Oh shit. I said, yeah, you're gonna do it again. You heard me. You heard my
No.
my lips, man.
I knew what you're saying. That. I knew what you're saying.
I said you're gonna feel the adrenaline, you're gonna feel that dopamine hit your brain again, and you're gonna be like, oh, let's roll the dice, baby.
I haven't like.
See, I don't get dopamine from whaling. I get dopamine from like maxing a character after farming them for 2 months. I'm like, oh, hard work. Oh.
I get both. I'm like, hey, I got instant gratification and then I got my long-term gratification, so that's a pretty healthy mix. And most of my stuff is long-term anyway, so you know.
My biggest dopamine hit, 4 gammas on the summoner challenges.
Honestly, that's some good crap. Honestly, that is some good stuff.
Organic.
Never happens.
Man,
Not just the 3, 4.
that one extra gamma
The 1 extra.
really gonna matter.
If I don't hit like the 5 gamma personal on like the towers, I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
At the end. Because gammas, they're still freaking rare. I don't know if they're gonna give us like gammas in the next raid reward, so they definitely should. So they should give us 1 delta and like 50 gammas.
Just do good in Summoner Showdown. It's fine.
That too, that helps too. But see, you have to wail to get there, Sky.
That's true. That's factual.
Yes. I think I finished like 300 something or maybe 297. I think it was my place, can't remember. But I ended up in a decent spot. I was like, hey, this isn't bad. I got
I got my frame, yeah. Frame was what, top 500?
Yeah. That
think
frame was like
so.
top 500, yeah.
I got the frame. It's cool. The rewards like from like 25th and lower to like 500 were roughly the same, honestly.
Mhm.
There was very little change. Man, I'm out of focus.
When you see someone getting 5 million gold, though, it's just like, man, I wish that was
That
me.
person doesn't need it.
Oh no, that's the thing. Like those people, like
Yeah.
not that they're sitting on mountains and mountains of gold, but like
A lot of
they're-
them are though because of
they don't need to
gifts.
spend. Yeah, they don't need to spend because they already spend so much. They
Yeah.
don't need to spend all their gold.
If you've been in like the mega whales that have been in the top, 3 clubs or so,
Yeah.
they get gifts like crazy when a new release happens. So they don't really worry about gold too much from what I see.
This week in my club, like people have been buying some packs, and I'm like, hey, I'll take 50K any day.
Since we lost that whale juice, we haven't had like any packs.
Wait, which whale?
I forget.
He was just a fodder. He's just feeding us.
I liked them though because they bought a lot of $100 gem packs. And
I
then they got
forget
poached.
who it was. You're right.
I think they're in Disneyland Forever now. If that's still a club.
That would sound right. All right, like we have like we have like 2 or 3 mega whales. Well, we have one guy at 600 something, other one at like 500, almost at 6, and I think another one is about to crack 500,000. So 3-ish kind of mega whales.
For what? Honestly, like
Hey,
the characters you have at G8 at that point, like I don't even why.
they do their
when do you
they do their
use them?
stuff. They do.
Why did you spend hundreds of dollars to get your hopper to G8? Like
Well, one of them, okay, the guy at 600,000, and he's a great guy. I love him, but I remember when he said, "I no longer have anyone below Gear 7," and we're just all like, "No, I like don't even have half the characters unlocked."
Yeah.
Let alone
No, it's
like I have like 5 gear 8s. I, I don't know what to say. But yeah, he's on his mission to get everyone to gear tier 8. And we're like, hey, and you know what? He does well in raids. Like he had like a 9 million shot one time, and I was like, hey, at least because there's some people who wail out and have no clue how to freaking play this game.
and they hardly even some of them hardly even play, I swear.
There, that too.
That's what gets me. It's like you log on once a day and you spend $100 and you log off. I'm like, what the?
Like I will gladly link our credit cards or something like that, so I can you know get some of this, get some of that good stuff. But I guess it's a good time to talk about like account check-ins. I know Juice had a big account achievement with a certain character in the Kingdom faction. Is that true?
Yeah. I know we talked about it last week, and there's no confirmation based on what the raid pieces are going to be, but yeah, they were close. Obviously, the Aladdin event is a lifetime event now, so it doesn't go away. So that was kind of pressure there, just kind of sitting in front of me, events wise. And yeah, Jasmine was already 100 out of 100 for 7 star, and then Aladdin was like 40 out of 100 for the final 7 star, and then Genie was 50 out of 85, so he was kind of my biggest grind. But yeah, grinding them all up, finished the event off, got Javar to 7 star. He's only like year tier 2, he's not leveled up or anything else like that, but yeah, he's kind of sitting there right now. I unfortunately had to gear up Aladdin, Jasmine, and Genie to gear tier 7 in order to push the final part of the event, so they were required gear requirement. But yeah, if he turns out to be pretty damn good, I have a ton of Kingdom gear hoarded up for G8, so I just have to push all the way to there. I think I dove into I was at like 1500 or 1600 of all droplets and stuff like that, so I dove into some of that. I'm at like 800, 900 of each still, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I felt like it was an okay investment. It felt kind of cool actually getting a character up and kind of getting characters geared up and progressing a little bit, I guess, on the account. But yeah, Javar is a 7 star. He's ready to go. But I'm not going to seal the deal just yet. I kind of wait a little bit, because the problem is my team's been the same forever now, and it's like, who do I take out for Javar? Like, am I going to replace Herc? No. Am I going to replace Beast? No. Bell? No. Shan Yu definitely no for the leadership, or Ursula? Hell no. So it's just a matter of, yeah, I could kind of theory craft, but I just think I'm going to be hindering my team if I take out someone. But if the raid pieces become viable and he gets more speed and we'll see a shift maybe, then Javar is good to go. So yeah, it's kind of about it. I mean, like I said, just kind of doing dailies every day and participating and doing what I need to as far as daily quests and club requirements and things like that. But there's times where I look at the clock and I'm like, oh shit, like Sorcerer's Tournament, like this is it's coming up, and I just forget to do it. And plus I'm not good with the whole sensational 6+ Herc team. I really need to, if Dragon, if you have a video you want to put out about that, or Sky, if you have a video to do, like what's best to do, go up against that team and how it works, because it's like, I feel like I hit a wall when it comes to that, and maybe it's just because I don't know the strat, or I don't know the exact perfect team layout and stuff like that. But usually I hit like top 5, and it's all those same teams, and it's like, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna move on with my day and just get top 5 gems and top 5 ST tokens. So I finished all that. So if I'm starting to get more 7-star currency, just because this guy made a good point last show of you only want to have a certain threshold of Sorcerer Tournament token, just because it's like, when they add new characters, you don't need that much. So it's, yeah, I'm starting to get a lot of that 7-star currency too, which helps with other farms. So Javar, and still horde mode and just doing my normal stuff, waiting for the raid and other future content. That's my account update.
Nice. Yeah, let's see. Basically finished my Wreck-It Ralph grind. Just kind of waiting, like I was saying earlier, for those double drops next Monday. Then I'll just have to just soak a cool 5.5 million in to get Sugar Rush and the few remaining characters 7-star. Started working on Toy Story for Ascension. Almost got the team at T6, and then I'm gonna T8 Zerg and see how far I can get through it with just a T8 Zerg and a bunch of T6s. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. Just been chilling. It's kind of like, a little low in the game. There's no one I really, really, really want to get up. Just making sure, jump in the game, buy some extracts since I was out of extracts since I went pretty hard on Showdown. But yeah, I mean, we're getting Onward back again, so that'll be nice to get some gold and some droplets. That'll definitely be worth some refreshes for me. But no, it's pretty normal progression. I feel like a lot of people are just really coasting right now because there's nothing else to do. But as far as the Sensational 6 teams, my biggest thing, Juice, is what I do is I switch out if it's Herc plus multiple Sensational 6. I switch out Ursula and I switch out Shan Yu and I go Hero and Baymax and just try to get the purge out early. If it's Mickey and then like Mickey lead with no other Sensational 6, and Mickey has a Speed Stone, I get rid of Ursula and I run Baymax because the biggest thing is Ursula can't steal from Sensational 6 characters under Mickey lead. So it's about, and then if Ursula isn't stealing speed, she's losing a lot of what makes her good. So getting that purge out with either Ralph or for most of us Baymax early and getting rid of all those buffs is how I've been beating it. And you can keep that. You can keep Herc and Bell and Beast in no matter what and just kind of switch out the other two characters depending on what they got going. That's how I've kind of been dealing with Sorcerer's Tournament the past little while.
I am I've done the same tactics for Sky for Sensational 6. For me, like it's always like if I can't get Baymax's purge out, like it's almost like guaranteed you're not gonna get it. The worst is like when Minnie gets her charmed on like Baymax, for instance. If that happens and your blue frame magic can't charge fast enough, that's kind of where you're a little screwed. So it takes a couple tries. So, but sometimes she doesn't aim towards Baymax or go to another character. But yeah, you need to do the Baymax's mass purge, and then you're pretty good to go. That's usually my strategy against the Sensational 6 teams. And actually, like for me, it's weird. I do better against hybrid Sensational 6 teams, which is like with Mickey, Donald, and Daisy, and usually Herc and Beast or Herc and Ursa or something like that. I do better against those teams than an actual like full Sensational 6 team. It's really weird. I think it's just because of all the assisting that happens and stuff. Those add up. That's what happens. And like a team gets wiped. But yeah, that's my tip for you guys from Sensational 6 a little bit.
If you run double speed on both Hero and Baymax stones, you have a little easier time against the charms because you get an added 50-50 where if they charm Baymax and they don't charm Hero, if Baymax goes first and you win that 50-50, he'll attack and then you can just instantly upgrade Baymax and have him go again and have him purge. So that's helped me a couple of times. It's not like it automatically does it, just like another rolling percentage that could help you kind of.
And I have like we have the coastal conflict coming up this like 2 days, something like that. So definitely like as long as at least one hits of a tier 3 stone material, I'll be able to get a tier 3 stone, and it's freaking going on Baymax. Nice. I'm taking off that health stone and putting on the speed stone for sure. Still definitely jealous of Juice's freaking 1500 800 droplet horde. If those droplets were in my hands, that would be gone like in 2 seconds.
The problem is it's crazy because like as like free to play, moderate spending, like we have events coming around again, like Lion King and like Onward. I'm at the point now since playing at the beginning of the game where like Ian and Barley are like 50 out of 100. Like I'm almost close to the 7-star, and like Lion King, I finally pushed to 7-star Simba, 7-star Rafiki to the 7-star Scar. Like I'm at the point now is like, yeah, these events are about to be finished up free to play. So like as much as I don't want to, like, I don't want to spend too much on like Ian and Barley because I want to get back to Wreck-It Ralph, but it's like they're so close to finishing the end of the event and stuff like that. It's like it's kind of tempting me a little bit just to kind of get them all not maxed out gear wise, but just maxed out star wise. So it's kind of cool to see these events
Yeah.
come around where it's like, okay, I'm finally finishing them up, which took almost a year and a half to finally get done. But sorry, Dragon, keep going.
No, totally good. And I would say it's probably one of the best events to invest in. It's still going to be
Yeah.
freaking Onward, even if it's going to be for 3 days. It's just kind of like foreshadowing what we're going to see, like probably with Zerg and stuff too, because if Zerg becomes like Lotso, where it's like a 28 energy elite battle form, granted it sucks, but just part of part of the game, part of the cycle. But I guess
Don't bring up the Lotso note around me. That pisses me off still.
freaking you have to get like Jesse and Buzz to freaking 7-7.
It's like a legendary character, but you have to farm them for 28 energy per node after you get the characters required.
It's like freaking 4 attempts is gonna
so bad.
4 attempts is like 1 refresh of energy. I'm like, for 1 freaking character, when I can get like 8 attempts on 1 character who's like 12 energy or 6 energy, whatever the case may be. It's just freaking garbage. I'm thinking about the rest of my account. So Sky and I were talking about this as well. I just looked at my account for my account review, and then I'm down to 26 GC characters. I think Sky's down to 20. So we're almost there. We're almost at finishing off all the grand campaign farms. And the ones I have left, they're not like at 0 out of 330. They're like at 80, or some are even already at 6 stars, like the last 100 or something like that. So I'm like, hey, we're almost on these grand campaign farms. So all that, the rest of that extra energy is going to go straight to gearing up, maybe Ascension campaign stuff. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Probably not going to be till the end of the year though, honestly, because I did my tracking and stuff and just guesstimation at I should be done getting the grand campaign characters by December, July. Granted, once the new legendary comes in, those guys will take 1 month, because when you take someone to 0 to that and you're doing grand campaigns, it takes about 2.5, 3 weeks to get one from 0 to 330. So they'll take over that. But besides that, the account's moving pretty fast, a lot faster than I thought. And I think I just hit 30 tier 7 and above, or gear 7 and above, which I didn't think was going to come anytime soon, honestly. But drop rates have definitely improved for going from 6 to 7. So hats off to Glue for that. Thank you for making my life a little bit easier. And Sky and I were also looking forward, can't wait till the day when we all have 5,000 droplets and don't have to worry about droplets anymore, and our big thing's going to be going after Gear 13 material or something like that. That will be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. Back in my day, we had to go for droplets, and those droplets were a pain in the ass to go for. And I never had enough wispy droplets. That'll be my spiel in 5 years. When droplets are nothing. Yeah. I'm finishing up Ralph. Ralph's on its way. But nice. I got Vanellope done. I got Calhoun also for raids. Got Calhoun done for raids as well. And then right now I'm working Felix, and then it's just King Candy and Shank after that. So I just remembered I have to get freaking Sugar Rush to freaking level 4, which is kind of annoying, but I have to save the gold for that, unfortunately.
I've been just naturally farming that from spell packs, and I'm only 5 off now.
It works.
I only have 3 or 4 spells that aren't max.
Yeah, no, guys the spell packs. Freaking do the spell packs. I still get hits. I thought my hits would drop significantly and there'd just be a lot of duplicates, but no, I still freaking get hits. Sometimes there's times where if you do VIP, you get 3 attempts a day at least, if not 4. And there's times where I get 3 attempts and it freaking hits I don't know, what's this one called again? The magical meteor 3 times in a row. I'm like, hey, I'll take it. At least it's 1 more spell that's almost maxed. But I don't have the gold for it, obviously.
Meteor's actually my only one that's over 50 shards away, which is kind of funny because it's the first spell you get.
No, same. I'm at 59 out of 120. So it's like another 70, 60-ish left. 61.
You know what that means, right?
I'm gonna whale out.
No, I was gonna say that means that early in the game you said magical meteor. Oh, I want to level that up. Let me buy some tokens individually because you're at 59.
Oh no, that's probably true. Honestly, it was
Yeah,
like
when you're a new player, like, dude, magical meteor's OP. It hits the whole team.
whole team, and then hero comes
Whoa.
out, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's shields. What is this? What is this? And there's evades. Oh my gosh, it's useless.
Pre either nerf hero came out.
Well, like
That was
I'm
that was a joke of a character.
waiting for my spells, man. It's been like a year without a new spell. Waiting for a
Yeah,
new spell.
I think you're right actually.
Because Moana came out like
Yeah.
September last year. If I'm correct. Yeah.
I mean, the devs even said it. They just weren't prepared for how hard it is to add spells to this game.
They just think it's a good idea, and they are. The thing is, like, if you roll back all their debuffs, every spell would be OP, and if every spell is OP, then no spell is OP.
Nope, incorrect.
I know, because at the beginning it was like freaking BFM, right? Blue Fairy Magic.
Blue Fairy Magic being AOE
And
would break the game again.
Yeah.
And then
straight up.
Also, what Wild Imagination was a big one too, and so was Dad Pants.
Dad Pants are good. Yeah,
They were
Iago
good.
used to be real good.
See these terms
so far.
used to? It's ridiculous.
Well, that's like straight up tanks weren't good when the game first came out because people just Iago'd them.
Yeah. And
So,
also,
like, tanks were unusable.
Tanks, like early tanks, were actual tanks. They didn't do any damage. They just like absorbed damage. Like Kristoff was a true tank, and then kind of got in Baymax, and then you got what? The Beast was the first one to break that, and now you have. Actually, no, Fred kind of broke that a little bit because Fred actually could do some damage.
Yeah, Fred deals crazy damage.
Yeah, especially in Showdown, you're like, oh, thank God he got one attack. 13K gone. That's good. That's good.
In the last round of Showdown, there wasn't that many characters, so I was running. Daisy was giving offense up to Quasimodo and
Oh
Fred.
gosh,
and it was actually really good because they both deal tons of damage.
Yeah.
Quasi
really
does.
fun.
Quasi does more damage than I thought he would. Honestly, I'm always surprised. Like, oh, that one, his basic did like 4,000. What the hell? I'm not ready for it. But yeah. You guys got anything else? Final words, final thoughts? No?
Good to go.
Well, that was a freaking fantastic episode. I think one of our best episodes. Really flowed. And if you guys watch the live version or check the VOD on Juice's stream, because you can see our 45-minute pre-show discussion, which was pretty good.
I didn't even realize that was being streamed, honestly, until when you guys mentioned it. I was like, oh, are we live?
Yeah, we're live. We're live.
Well, speaking of flow, shout outs to ice that you can get in your drinks in Mexico. Wink, wink.
Yeah. They helped me my flow go very, very fast.
Sorry, I had to.
No, that's good.
Seen some fruit and you'll be all set, Sky. Eat those bananas. But anyways, thank you guys so much for dropping in on the video, watching the podcast. Episode 19 or 20 in the books. Hopefully next time we talk to you guys, it's going to be more raid specific, because probably within the next 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a new trailer, probably a little more extended one like we saw with Ursula, closer to her release. So we'll catch up with you guys then. Definitely share this with your clubs, your friends, everything like that, guys. And I'll catch you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next podcast. See you guys. Peace out.
Peace.
See ya.